Right, but you see what Tyler was able to do for himself because he invested in himself, right? Tyler takes his tour money and his merch money and his clothing line money and builds out his you know what I'm saying? And that's what it takes. So you artists out here sitting around waiting for this industry to like rally around you and all that. Nah, bro, you gotta go take it. It's Rap Life Review. We are here, Eddie from the West Coast, Low from the New York City scene, Nadeska from Brooklyn, and I'm just from, I don't even have a home. I'm from everywhere, man.
No man's land.
No man's land. But yeah, no, the glasses, I should take them off.
Yeah, man.
Don't be a rapper.
Man, you won't let them tell you what to do on your show?
I mean, if
Put
you
them
do it, can
glasses
we all
back
do
on. What, like, really? You won't let them tell you what to
Then
do?
you'd be telling me what
Yeah, you will be.
Damn, bro, you caught in a rock and a hard place, bro.
But there was some amazing things that went on this weekend. You want to start with Flog Gnaw?
Let's do it.
10-year anniversary of Camp Flog Gnaw. None of us I was at Afrotech last week, so I couldn't make it all the way to LA.
Right.
Eddie, you was on your way here,
I
so
was, yeah.
you
so
didn't get to
I'm
go.
out the loop.
Eddie, Lo, you don't have a travel budget. You wasn't there. And Nadeska,
Nobody invited me.
you need an invite to go to Flog Gnaw? Nah, bro, nah.
Should I do? Just pull up and stand outside the gates?
Yes.
Look at that.
You know people.
You know
Well,
people.
I want to salute Tyler. Thank you for celebrating the life and the music of MF Doom.
Yep.
That went on there. That was an amazing situation. There was a trailer advertising a Mac Miller album.
Yeah.
Yeah, look
That
dope.
took place at Flog Gnaw. And it said Balloonerism will arrive soon. I want to shout to Sanfa, who I love, the Alchemist and Friends set, and Tyler's set.
Doshi set.
I was going to get to that, but I wanted to salute Sexy Red and Schoolboy Q, who came out on Tyler's set, and shout to just Tyler for being Tyler.
Vince Staples came out too, right?
He
Vince
did.
Staples.
Yes,
Yeah,
Vince
yeah,
trolling the crowd was a
Yeah,
highlight
that was beautiful.
of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Vince doing Vince. It's always a highlight.
Yeah,
I
he
love
always
that
does that
kid, man.
performance.
He's dope. And then SZA popping out with Doechii. First of all, Doechii was out there in her draws. I think it was a double set of draws she had on, because them wasn't panties, them was draws.
Yeah,
It's different.
what's wrong?
But she was I didn't
Okay,
know wrong with it.
Grandma.
I didn't have a problem with it.
All right.
I had no problem. Well, no problem. I ain't no problem. Ain't got no problem. Ain't got no problem. No problem. No problem. But y'all know I love Doechii, and the set was, what I saw was incredible.
Yeah.
So the whole Flog Gnaw situation, super dope. So shout to that. And now for the J. Cole fans, we go to Nadeska.
Can we just save the trolling to the end of the show? Okay. Well,
Was it a troll?
when you guys are, it's the tone in your voice. It doesn't even matter that you have the sunglasses on. Usually I could see it in your eyes, but it's the tone in your voice. Anyway.
I would say, I mean,
As
I'm
you're
very
watching
familiar
this-
with this project, so I'm very happy.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh,
heard
what
it?
do you know about it? Okay, hold on. Let me do the intro and then you tell us what you're familiar with about it.
No,
Because I
I
haven't
can't
heard
do
it yet.
that. I can't do that.
Well,
I
it comes
It's
out
gonna
today.
be out.
It's gonna be out.
By the time the
time-
episode comes out, like, so you
By
know
the
just let us
time-
yeah.
By the
let it
time you guys are watching this episode, the new J. Cole audio series is going to be out. It's called Inevitable. So this is supposed to follow the arc of his career and his personal life through an 8-date conversation. Interesting concept with Cole, Ebe, his co-founder and his manager, and filmmaker Scott Laser. So in typical Cole fashion, I mean, he released a statement saying that he was hesitant to release this, why I love him. He says, as the years of my career grew, I find myself much more hesitant to share the details of my life with the world. Even as I type this, I feel the last bit of resistance. Ultimately, he said he dropped it because if he was a younger version of himself, he would love to get some fuel from hearing somebody explain how they've been through it. What did you know that we didn't know?
I don't know anything.
So you didn't hear anything? You didn't
I'm
preview?
familiar with some things, but that's not the point. You guys should go enjoy this limited audio series called Inevitable.
Okay.
Inevitable.live.
Okay.
And boom, you can get access now.
Right.
You give them your email and phone number, and you sign up to listen to all episodes.
What do you expect us to get throughout these episodes? Do you expect how current do you think these conversations?
Because I
topics
ask
will be?
questions for a living, and because I know what you're trying to do right now, I won't answer that question, because then I would be giving you insight into the things that I know, which I already told you.
So we
I'm
can't
not
even really
doing.
have this fucking conversation because you heard this shit
Hold
already.
on,
so
but if
it's
it's
like,
already
heard
out,
some, I
but
didn't
if
hear
it's-
all.
we can't even have the
this is not a
conversation.
spoiler if it's going to be out, but the rest of us haven't heard
Why
it
want
as
you
of
guys to go
recording
listen
now.
to the J. Cole thing, man?
so then this is just a
Was there
this is
anything
just a promo.
insightful that you learned, Ebro, that you found interesting?
What did he say about it?
I already said that. Stop trying to. Okay, you know
All
what?
the
Were you,
years
like,
of my
were you
career.
surprised by anything that you heard? Is that broad enough?
I'll say this. I was surprised at how vulnerable and transparent things are and the detail at which they allow the audience into J. Cole's career.
Great, because I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
So there's definitely, and I think that's true to J. Cole's brand this whole time. Like, I mean, he's put out documentaries before. He's shown us creative process.
Right.
He's been, listen, even in this most recent chapter of J. Cole, no matter how you feel about how he handled the battle, he was being the purest form of himself.
Right.
I'm always appreciative of someone who's just being themselves, right? And always being, and J. Cole is always doing that. Whether ridicule comes or not, they'll deliver on that.
I think what he's trying to do is he wants to be a light for a lot of people. He even said it in the description, like he wants people to find inspiration through him. And if you understand J. Cole's story, there's a lot to be inspired by. Like a brother from North Carolina coming to New York to pursue his dreams, also go to college, and even the story of, what's that, Ahmed? Like letting them live
in Queens.
in the spot. And, you know, not paying rent, and bro ended up believing in him. And even what he was going through, like once he was actually signed to Rock Nation,
went back
there were challenges with that. And a lot of times we fall in love with the end product and the success, but we don't fall in love with the process. And it seems like what he's trying to convey is be in love with your own process.
Right.
And if you can look at him as inspiration, if you can look at him as a light, that's what he's trying to do. And I applaud him for it, especially in a non-conventional way. Like he gets kind of like Jay-Z. They give you the blueprint, Jay-Z, in the music. They're basically telling you everything. Like they're telling you, here's what I did to be successful, find your route. He's like, all right, look, I've told you guys through the music. Apparently that might not be enough. Let me go through this this podcast and try it through this as well. And you got to applaud anybody that's trying to do that, because it's not easy. Like, you don't have to be vulnerable. You don't have to give us that information.
Also, is this a setup for the fall off?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been promoting that, right?
Okay.
Let's go to the J. Cole fan club.
Just yo, bro, just eat
Y'all
it.
don't have a group chat?
He does it to me all. Just eat it.
Y'all don't have a group chat, bro?
I do hope we get the album early next year. So to your point, this is a good lead-in. Cole has shared a lot about his life and his mental state, and I feel like I know who he is, if that makes sense, through the music. But there's a lot of things I don't know that have happened behind the scenes. You know, there's a period where I felt like he really felt back, and he made that decision probably for his own peace. And so I do want to know some of the things that he's been through behind the scenes that we wouldn't be privy to that led him to make those decisions. Like, why did you fall back? What changed when you decided to start doing features again? How'd you feel once the run started picking up? Like, there are a lot of things that I would love to hear as a longtime Cole fan. So I'm really looking forward to this. So.
What's your favorite Cole album?
Oh, shit.
There you go.
It doesn't matter.
No, I want to know.
It does matter. Why?
I want to know.
Oh,
Why?
I'm a Born Sinner guy. A lot of people love Forest Hill. Dry. I'm a Born Sinner guy.
I do love Born Sinner. And all of the mixtapes. I wish the mixtapes would come to Apple Music. Like, I'm sure that's a whole music clearance issue. Yeah. But those early Cole tapes are some of my favorite. Friday Night Lights, like, it'll happen. But it's funny, as I was listening to the new Cordae album, I hear a lot of Cole in him.
For sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, always know it's going to be something thoughtful.
Born Sinner's a great album. My problem with Born Sinner was too long.
Yeah.
There was too many things on there I could have done without, but it's a great album.
Hey man, he got a song with TLC. I respect that.
Yeah, I
Shout
get
out to
that.
Chris
It wasn't all over the place,
I-
but there was too many things to pick from.
I like
On
the
that
off
project.
season. I like listen, a lot of people don't like it, but I like KOD.
KOD's fire.
I like 2014. I like For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah.
I like Might Delete Later is I know it's not an album. It's just a
Mixtape.
But it's an album level
But just
mixtape.
but just the quality that's in it. J. Cole's put out consistently great shit, and that's even not even talking about what was the Crew album, the drama Dreamville.
That tape was fire too.
That shit was crazy. Since we're on the music side of things, I want to shout out Kash Doll. Her new album out. She got a new baby too, by the way. Shout out Kash Doll. Congratulations. Speaking of Cordae, the Crossroads is out there. Matter of fact, I caught up with Cordae. Shoot it to a little clip of that convo. I actually talked to him about, one of the first ways we met Cordae was him going at J. Cole. So I didn't remember that whole, he was in the barbershop and that whole shit. And so I ended up asking him about like his inspiration, or was the battle inspiring? A lot of people are like picking who won, But I think as an MC, like somebody like him who like really critiques rap and studies rap, it was more interesting to hear him talk about how he observed how they handled the creative process of, making those records. So definitely go check out this interview. But I also talked to him about working with Lil Wayne on this project.
My motto for this body of work is in push that pen, bro. Just push that pen. You ain't never gonna regret it. Push that pen. Like I was saying, how I wrote the Shy Feeney song 2-3 times. And sometimes I'll rewrite verses just to go back to the original, but it's just the fact that, I tried to push it, you know what I'm saying? And get, whether it's like how I said a word, or even like on Back on the Road, I got the line where I'm like, and step over you like Tyronn Lue. Before it was like a whole nother line, and it was just like, like that could be better. Like I feel like we settling, we getting lazy. And a lot of times, the first 12 bars would be great, but your last 4 bars, it'll be like writer's fatigue or whatever. And I'm like, nah, that doesn't exist anymore. Like if I gotta go back and do those last 4 bars, we doing that. So I really got that mantra from Wayne telling me, you have to approach every song like it's people's first time hearing you.
Wayne was coaching him on the creation of the album, like literally like giving him advice.
He kind of AR'd it, right?
Like A&R in it, and like help him push his pen to like really dig into rap. Also, Cordae in the conversation talked about working with Kanye West, because Kanye West is on the Crossroads on a hook. So he was saying that Kanye gave him 7 different versions of where to use what Kanye gave him as a hook or a portion of the song, and helped him improve the song. And actually listened to a bunch of records on the album as well. It was like very, which was great to hear, because that's Kanye's magic.
And Kanye was just hands-on with this.
Well, I don't know about the entire project as much as Lil Wayne was, but just caring about a real MC trying to do some dope shit it was great to see Kanye still has that fire in him.
And he clearly heard him say.
Right.
Which is, it was kind of weird the first time I heard it, because Cordae came to the offices and played it for us, and hearing the sample, and I didn't know Heard Him Say it was gonna be sampled yet, and you're like, we're getting to that point where songs like that are being sampled now. Yeah. So to have Kanye not only on the hook, help him with the album, and then Lil Wayne's on there twice.
Right.
Having Lil Wayne kind of A&R his album a little bit, it's kind of dope to see Cordae's in a space where they say, what is it, where your rivals your idols become your rivals. Well, it's the opposite for him. Right. His idols are now helping him construct his music, and that's dope. And I seen him post on like, what was it, Blue Sky or Threads or something, him having like the #1 album at some point. And he was like, I don't really want to get into numbers, but that means something. So Cordae can kind of be in this weird space. We don't know if people care about lyricism like that anymore. And it's cool to see guys like that win.
We're so accustomed to hip hop artists trying to play the chart game or trying to play the chase the hit game.
Which you've never done.
Right? But that's kind of become how we evaluate, artists, right? In hip hop, because hip hop went so mainstream. So we continue to do this thing like you just did, where you're like, it's good to see him having a moment. Bro's got Anderson .Paak records, Meek Mill records. Now he's got Kanye, he's got Wayne twice. Like, when you start actually like paying attention to what Cordae's building, he has his tours do great. Obviously, he's a parent now. His woman is amazing. Like, we're evaluating him next to, I think, in the wrong way.
It's metrics that don't make sense, because he's been so intentional about it his whole time. So I think what stands out to me about him, my experiences meeting him and talking to him, is like, when he came in the game, I feel like it was very clear, although his crew, I don't know what they're up to these days. Things are looking a little bit different for them. But he was always like very specific that there are artists who are just in this for the money. They're in it to catch a couple quick hits, make a buck, do something else. And
are you talking about when you say his crew, you talking about YBN?
YBN.
Yes. But they all met on a video game.
I know,
so like,
but
they had no intention of like whatever
they didn't know what they were doing. They was
but
just happy to be here.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy that was the crew. They clearly didn't care, but he's always been really focused. Like, I'm not here just for this money. Like, I'm trying to be here forever. I'm trying to be a legend. I'm trying to study the game.
There was a clear intent, a clear blueprint, a clear path of what he saw, what he wanted to do, who he wanted to work with, why he wanted to accomplish, and the conversations around who he was and who he wanted to be perceived as an artist. And I think we're seeing that unfold, right before our very eyes, especially with this project.
He talking shit on there too.
Yeah,
as he should. Damn, Trey Songz said you caught a shot on that boy, dog. Do you think, Cordae?
Hey, I'm into it. So shout out to Cordae. Check the convo out. Speaking of convos, Eddie, you had a convo recently, you and Nick, for the plug.
Yeah. Me and Nick, we talked to Young Nudy and Pierre Bourne, and it's cool because Young Nudy's been doing his thing, man. He's been bubbling, much success. He had a hit with Eggplants. What was it? Was it the Eggplant joint called?
Yeah.
With
21.
With 21.
Yeah,
that was a hit. Like,
yeah.
he's official. He's out of here. And Pierre Bourne, the production he's been doing over the last few years. But it's cool because they kind of came up together. And this was a sequel to a project they've already done. And they basically had a conversation about, you know, what it's like to ascend kind of on two different paths, but then come back and meet together again.
What's it like for you, Nudy, seeing Pete?
Oh shit, we broke a hell together, guys.
Damn.
Hey, I'm telling you, it can't
Humble
get no
beginnings,
deeper than
man.
that, goddamn, boy.
Yeah.
We broke a hell together, boy. He seen me at moments where, yeah, that shit really just happened.
Just
For real,
organically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, for real. It just happened. Like, then you know, my goddamn cousin, he rapping and shit, do the ad out. I got down, get on there, you know. I try to do my own little thing and shit, you know. That shit worked. So I was working with Pete way before the ad out entered that shit. Way before the end of that. Like when I really couldn't even rap for real.
I thought you was straight, like moving to Atlanta, trying to just find some going on, something for real though, not fake. A lot of fake. A lot of studios you pull up, and it just wasn't the right vibe for me. And when I was working with bro, I'm like, nah, we goddamn could really be like some. I saw this basically when I recorded him and heard him rapping it. I'm like, damn, bro, fire. Like, that's crazy. I should have gave him some beats. But it was too late. He was already recording on whatever we was recording on. I was like, but if he asked, I definitely got some shit for him. So I was just glad he asked, bro, to be honest.
Slimier.
Slimier
Did you
too.
ask them how you pronounce the album? Is it Slimier?
We've been having this trouble for some time now.
Slimier?
So here's the thing. That's Nick kept doing that. Nick had it. Like, I kept forgetting. So
what is it?
It's Slimier. I don't remember.
It's Slimier.
I'm just bad with stuff. I don't remember. Look, guys, be mad at me. You want in the comments. I don't remember names. I don't remember names of songs.
This is not the thing they're
this
going to
is
be
not-
mad at you about, bro. This is not the one.
Slimier. Slamazu. I'm showing my age. Lil Baby announces a new album. He dropped 5 a.m. in Insecurities. He tweeted, ain't it crazy how they try to play me like I ain't the one? It's that time. I would say again, but this one would be totally different. Had the darkest period of my life these last 2 years, but I stayed down and overcame that shit. Now I'm back to effing shit up as usual. Sincerely, Wham. Who hard is me? That's what the acronym Wham is. Let's go.
So here's a bigger question.
Okay.
Why does the online community enjoy the Lil Baby fall off more than, I don't know, like the average? Like, there's enjoyment out of this. Like, there's
I don't
always
know.
like these
I don't know.
TikTok
I don't
videos
think
the Lil Baby fall off needs to be studied.
No,
and all
I
that
mean,
kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Wait, what's the- but-
that? Don't pay attention to that. Like, that's just that's
why?
foolishness.
But is it a fall off because he's been quiet the last 2 years and he's saying he was going?
No,
through
it's just the reception of the music post My Turn. Like, let's be clear, Lil Baby was supposed to be. We do this generation things. Like the big three, you've been having arguments about that for years. Then you had before that all these different generations, and we were in desperate need looking for the new star. Kind of like the post-Jordan era in the NBA. Like, who's our next Jordan?
Okay.
Everybody pointed to Lil Baby like, he's our guy. My Turn comes out, he blows up. And then the next few songs, albums, bodies of work, people weren't as receptive to it. And it became this online conversation where people really enjoyed the fall off of Lil Baby.
I don't want to say. I don't think.
He's
People,
saying
I don't think people enjoyed it. I think
Maybe he was just so high up.
No, yeah, it's just like when you have that kind of, fame and accolades and everyone's pointing up at you.
He had a documentary already.
Okay, that's cool. What the fuck that mean?
Yeah.
Well,
And
No, I'm just
think
saying, like,
whoever-
I don't
I
understand
think-
what y'all are disagreeing.
No,
on.
I'm just
We're not.
no,
We never are.
No, I'm just saying. I think it looks
just
like
sensitive.
how am I?
Oh boy, so I think Lo was maybe trying to say that it just all came very quickly because he was so good. Like out the gate, this man had huge hits. He had the Drake collab. It happened so quick. When you're that high, people just always want to see you fail. That's just how it goes, right?
But it's
and I
also-
still
but
have
it-
high hopes for him. But I think, and I guess you guys can say what you think the problem is. Yo, put your sunglasses back
No,
on.
I also think the music just isn't as good anymore.
Yeah, so speaking of-
that's literally it.
Yeah, I
the
think he
music
needs-
just didn't hit. It's not as consistent. It's not as good as quality as it was, and that's just literally
And I
the
don't
lay of the
think
land. Like
he's
that's just how I
talented.
look
I
at it.
actually would take a different, because I've been watching.
Oh boy.
I've
Can
been
I just
watching.
finish the sentence?
Yes.
He just needs the right producer. He needs like his person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're talking about
Quincy
like
Jones.
these, exactly, we need the synchronicity. Like, I feel like sometimes for a creative, there's just like a limit that you can go until you meet that person who unlocks your next level.
Right.
And maybe if Lil Baby found that person, we could hit that next level.
That-
Because
I
I
agree.
believe,
I agree.
I believe that he
That's
still
fair.
has it.
That's
All right,
fair.
go ahead
That's
now.
fair.
Wherever you're
That's
taking
No,
us.
I was gonna say something similar. I was just
No
gonna add.
way.
I'll add to that. I'll
Okay.
add to that. That sometimes, sometimes things move very quickly, and things moved very quickly for Lil Baby, right? Like it was very explosive and very popular, very fast. Also during the pandemic, right?
Yeah, he never got to tour and stuff.
Right. So a lot of people had success during the pandemic when people had more focused time. And so then when we came back outside and people were kind of back into their regular lives, you notice a lot of artists did come out of that.
But he did go on tour with Chris Brown.
Yeah. I'm not saying he didn't go on tour, but he didn't do his thing.
Tour,
He didn't
his-
build
yeah.
his tour. He didn't do he didn't build from the ground up like, that community of fandom. That's just one aspect though. But I will also say, I don't think the music quality diminished. I think people's interest in sounds shifted a little bit, right? Like I think he didn't evolve sonically, and that's always a challenge for an artist.
To her point,
right? To her point, right? Where it's kind of like, okay, I did that, they love that. How do I keep that going and add on to that? That becomes a challenge. And when artists, if you look at any artist, all the greats had periods where as they tried to deliver new material,
The sound became stagnant.
the people have expectations that the new music will feel the same as the old music. That's tough because you have the old shit. Like Hov said, if you want my old shit, buy my old album. Like he even had to be like, yo, I gotta keep evolving and changing. So I think that's where we're gonna see Lil Baby right now is you're gonna have people who, because people love a tear down and fall off. That's just part of how our society functions culturally. So you're gonna have that, and then you're gonna have someone who's gonna have to persevere and try different patterns, try different ways of using their voices, work with different producers, concept albums. You got to fight for this hip hop shit. I mean, really music shit. All artists in all genres go
Gotta fight.
through
They
this
gotta
fight where it's not as easy as it was in the beginning,
Right.
right? You're not a new artist anymore. That new shit wears off, and it's fucking hard out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What'd you think of the songs?
Not good.
Wow, you don't like neither one?
No. And it goes to her point. That's the sound is stagnant. It's not evolving. So it's like the shit we heard years ago. And
it's a challenge.
It's
Like, I like what I heard on 5 a.m. and Insecurities. I don't agree with that, but I don't think that people are excited for it because they don't know. They're expecting something else from Lil Baby, and he's trying to evolve and trying to go farther and trying to tell deeper stories and trying to be more dynamic. And he's also traveled the world, made a lot of money. His kids are older. He's a different person, and
And Lord knows what he went through in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
so like
we don't
that,
even know
that's
what he's
another
talking
story.
about.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another story.
So
It could be
I-
hard to beat the narrative too. Like once the narrative becomes, oh, you fell off or whatever.
Nah, bro, gonna beat the narrative.
Gonna beat it.
anything
He's the example.
Clear as day.
possible after that.
Kobe
Anything is
won.
possible.
Cole being boring. Remember that whole Cole was boring shit? And he just
Yeah.
kept shooting and hitting and rhyming and hitting and staying on it. That's what it takes. You got to stay in these motherfuckers' faces, man. And this hip hop shit is a war zone. Like if you an MC, even the producers got to stay active. Like you see what Hit Boy had to, like for Hit Boy to keep going or the Alchemist to keep going, these dudes to keep going, they got to stay innovative. They got to go sometimes dip back underground, get small again, get guerrilla tactics, be interesting. Like the shit is just not throw a song out, run up the charts, throw a song out, go to the club, throw the song out.
Go on
Like
tour.
you got to get in there. This shit gets dirty sometimes. And that's when my favorite part of an artist, that's when my favorite part of this hip hop shit kicks in.
The perfect example of that is JT from City Girls.
Boom.
When she had to not reinvent herself, but separate herself from Carisha, then touch all these nasty, dirty clubs in the South, and then put out that completely crazy album.
That's right.
That pushed her boundaries, made her, the sound was different, and, pretty much to this point that we're talking about.
But now she got to deliver again, though.
I think
we got to, like you said, we got to fight for it.
You gotta
fight for
It
it.
wasn't
Spit,
really her
cuss,
album
scratch.
that did it though. It was more her features because like the album
No,
came
that
out and
album
did
was tough.
Her features, like the Dolce features, and like she was making features
Nah,
that were
that album was tough, bro. I'm sorry, that album was tough.
mid.
Admit all you want, that album was tough. That album caused way more conversation than it ever did around the City Girls, for me.
Mid.
And there was a lot of mid that they put out. So
the narrative can be reclaimed, I think, right?
I think you got to fight for it. I think that's the game. Like if you're waiting on your label or you're waiting on some marketing person to save your career, you're going to be in shambles because the industry's in shambles right now.
Yeah.
So the labels, they just not putting that plan together for you, bro. Like look how many, after they had to shake up at Atlantic Records, look how many Atlantic Records albums is coming out now, right? But they're just coming out. There's no
promotion.
But you see what Tyler was able to do for himself because he invested in himself, right? Tyler takes his tour money and his merch money and his clothing line money and builds out his shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it takes. So you artists out here sitting around waiting for this industry to like rally around you and all that. Nah, bro, you got to go take it.
Even in unconventional ways too, because that 5-minute video he released last week, it added some more fuel to it, and you start seeing the insight and the behind-the-scenes stuff, and it was a very, yet again, non-conventional way of giving you a BTS. It was like, oh, these are just quick clips of how he's putting together the songs, like thinking outside the box, promoting your music. Even Tyler said it himself a million times in those interviews, like, stop being scared to promote you.
Perfect example, Nicki Minaj. Now you say, okay, why is that a perfect example? Nicki Minaj has been working this Pink Friday 2 album for a fucking year, bro.
Well, she's a vet. So
but
she just knows, yeah.
No. But that's even more reason for everyone else who's not Nicki Minaj to see how hard she's working to push this Pink Friday 2 and about to drop, what is she calling it?
Hiatus.
Pink Friday 2, the hiatus. People are speculating she's gonna go on hiatus, but she needs a vacation. Yeah. Had a baby, right? Toured for a year.
Sold out tours.
Put out music. Shoes and all the other endeavors and shit she did around that shit, and now adding more music, whatever the visuals and the rollout and shit is gonna be with that. You're talking about fucking 18 months of straight work and focus on a one singular body of thing. Like, you don't see that. Like, and I don't think, look, feel how you feel about Nicki and whatever, all that shit, but when you're looking at the skill set and the work ethic,
unmatched.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Motherfuckers ain't working this hard, bro.
Yeah.
She also knows that fan base is gonna be there wherever she's
because
at.
she worked hard for it,
what
though.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So she's rewarding them.
Yeah.
I want y'all to see me. I want y'all to hear me. I want more new music for you. So yeah, I the work ethic, no matter how you feel about it, the work ethic is through the fucking roof. At this point in her career, she's still doing this and still acting like a new artist while you got other new artists sitting on their ass, twiddling their thumbs, waiting for a phone call, waiting for this, that, and the third. She's going out in there getting it.
We've all been around this game before streaming, right?
Yeah.
Are we entering a pre-streaming work ethic, pre-streaming rollout kind of way of doing things?
I don't think with most of them, no.
No, I mean like what it takes. Not what is happening, but what it takes to actually...
Yes, because I think the industry on every level got lazy.
Throw some shit on TikTok, throw some shit on...
Everybody. Everything was algorithm, everything was numbers, everyone's like, oh, this kid's doing this on TikTok, and they felt like, and I hate using they, but labels and everybody else felt like these artists could be self-sustaining in a way. It's like, all right, the artists are doing the hard work, they got success before we even met them, we gave them some kind of resources, now go. That dried up. Like, that's a wrap. And that's why we're having all these ramifications with the labels and people getting laid off left and right, like the conversation you just had in Atlantic. And now the only way it seems you can break through is what you're talking about. It's like the grind of it all, the pre-streaming. This art isn't self-sustainable by any means.
This 90s hip-hop, get you a 15-passenger van and just drive around handing out fucking T-shirts and shit, pulling up at college campuses like, yo, listen to my demo.
Yeah.
Well, everybody got fat. What's the saying? I forgot the saying, but it's like, fat pigs get slaughtered.
Yeah.
Everyone got rich and stopped being about the art and, and us, we're talking about hip-hop, stopped being about lyrics and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it started being about, I'm making money, and everyone's a hustle, I'm making money.
Yeah.
Well, the money gone. They don't make it with shows. Streaming, we already know those conversations.
Well, they making it with the shows.
Some.
Differently,
Some
but yes.
Some are.
So now it's like, all right, you can't really be in it for the money. And what is going to break through and what's going to sustain is that other stuff. It's the conversations we're having about Nicki and the Tylers and the Cordays. And there's a reason why we're talking about those people.
Yeah, those are the world builders, right? I feel like that's how you have to look at it. Building your whole world, setting that foundation and continuing to add to it. And that's why Tyler keeps coming up and y'all are going to keep arguing with me. But I think he's going to be the one, bro. Because at the end of the day.
Why do
you make it sound like we disagree?
No,
I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. Why do you make it sound like we disagree with you?
Yeah, you make it seem like it's a sensitive, like you want to tiptoe around it. Like when we clearly look at what he's doing, how he's doing it.
But what do you think we disagree on?
We just had a conversation about how we're looking at someone like Cordae and we're using the wrong metrics to measure him. And we're talking about this shift that Eddie's talking about. I'm just saying as this shift continues, I see him being at the top. And I agree with you guys that all these artists have to build your whole world from the ground up. Like you really have to think about it now. Like, and I feel like a lot of people don't have that big picture. They don't have the long term in their mind. You know what I mean? They're seeing what's right in front of their faces. So I just think he's a great example of it. And I think that his star is only going to continue to rise. Yeah.
You know what Tyler is?
I think we agree.
Yeah,
Tyler.
So I don't know why you keep saying we disagree with you.
We agree with you.
Tyler is our hip hop Prince. And the reason why I say that, right?
Hip-hop Prince.
So check this out.
Like the artist Prince.
Here's why. So back in the day, for the the younger folks, there'd always be this Michael Jackson Prince argument. And for the people that love Prince, they'd be like, well, Prince plays every instrument. He's a musical genius. He arranges it. That was always a conversation. Whereas the other people would be like, well, look at the numbers. Mike's the king of pop, Thriller, blah, blah, blah. Well, Tyler produces, he arranges, he plays the piano, he MCs. Like he's our version of the hip hop Prince. So if you look at it, if you look at like a Drake, we'll just use him for example, and you look at the numbers, and Drake sings and he raps. He doesn't produce, he doesn't arrange. Kendrick, he MCs his ass off. He don't produce. J. Cole produces. J. Cole raps. He doesn't arrange to the same level. He doesn't play instruments. So now the conversation can be had is, well, and visually the things he does. Kendrick has great visuals. The argument can be made, maybe Tyler's are better. Maybe Tyler's a better world builder than Kendrick Lamar. Tyler is our current hip hop Prince.
I don't want to disagree, but I think my hesitation with the whole like he's gonna be the one
because we keep bringing it back to hits, I guess. Like when
I'm not. That's not even where I was gonna go. I guess I don't want to be make these presumptions. I think he's on a great trajectory and he's phenomenal. Is he Prince? Is he gonna be the one? Is he gonna be the all-time GOAT of?
It's too early to call.
I want to enjoy the show. You know what I'm saying? I'm still enjoying the show and seeing where this plays out. Because there's still things I think artists like Tyler, Cordae, and people can work on in their trajectory and on their journey, right? Like I think Tyler's a dope storyteller, dope MC, dope music maker, dope a lot of things. But I also, when I listen to Tyler, I hear alternative underground being made mainstream. Right? And I'm wondering if ever he becomes palatable for the mainstream audience. He may never be interested in that, right? And by the way, I hope he's not. Because I love where he is right now.
Oh, that's interesting.
But to be the one means you captivated all
that bubble. You're like you have everything in that bubble.
I guess you're saying you hope he doesn't want it and become too mainstream. I guess I see a world where he can make that palatable, like you said, for the mainstream without losing the essence of what makes him dope.
Tyler's intent over these last two projects was to be more immersed in specifically hip hop and elements of black culture, black popular culture that he had never really tapped into because he was more skater, underground, boom, boom, boom. He went to the BET Awards, like he won and got embraced and that felt good to him. On this album, he's tapping into the South. That's why he's got a Sexy Red Glorilla Lil Wayne record and then he's got the, he just tweeted something with the HBCU band.
He's like, I made that record specifically for that.
So he's like, yo, I see that black culture, mainstream black culture shit that I'm embracing. Like, that's intent. Not saying he didn't love that stuff prior. He probably did, but maybe he just wasn't raised in and around that stuff. And now he's reaching out and saying, I'm bringing that into my world building.
Saying the progression is incredible.
So that, but he's doing it Tyler's way. Right? It still feels very alternative, Tyler, underground, which is what I want to celebrate, because I would love to see him do it on his own terms, right? Where he doesn't have to, like for instance, when you go back and look at Hov jumped on Juvenile high, right? Because people who liked high that weren't in New York didn't like him on that record. People in New York was like, I got exposed to some new sounds that wasn't on my radar, or even a Big Pimpin' record where Jay was like, yo, I'm gonna go embrace this thing that I know is dope and bring it to my fans. And Jay did that in many, like if you go through Jay's whole journey.
He's done that in many different pockets.
In many different pockets, he brought other worlds into his world. You know what I'm saying? And I think Tyler, who is a student, is studying that shit and going, okay, Jay did it, or Pharrell did it, or these people I revere and admire did it, but they built their world a certain way on their path to becoming more and more mainstream.
And Pharrell's probably the best example of that.
Yeah, Pharrell's done so much, you know what I mean, in embracing other worlds, creating new worlds, and being someone who is inclusive in his art.
Tyler is doing, bro got a Louis Vuitton line. Like,
yeah, for sure.
That's mainstream stuff.
For sure.
We're talking about just music. I'm not talking about like the things outside of it. We're just talking about music.
No, we're not.
It's all culture.
No, it's all part of it.
Me, I'm talking about. I'm just talking about specifically music.
I think there is an argument to be said, but that's high fashion. That's not everybody's world.
You got both.
That's, once again, that's skater, alternative. That's not everyone's world. Like, these are all different worlds, right? The Glorilla,
he got that,
Sexy Red,
he got that movie coming out.
Okay.
It's
like I'm saying, he's world building. It's happening. And that's why I said earlier, I don't want to jump out and go, he's going to be the one. I want to enjoy the movie as he builds it, right?
That was me jumping out.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing at all. That's not what I'm saying.
You don't want to fast track the process of what you're
I don't want to
seeing
fast track because
I'm talking about like 5 years, by the way. I'm not fast tracking. I'm not talking about next year.
I take y'all back to when I told y'all I thought it was a bad idea that Ice Spice jumped out there with Taylor Swift.
Right.
Some people they moving too fast, man.
They know that was.
Hey, get the checks while you can. You don't know how long this thing.
And that's, by the way, and that's a philosophy too.
Yeah.
I'm not, if that's what you want to do, but I'm looking at it from, a hip hop context of sustainability and being around and in a game. Yeah. If that's the game you want to be in, there are people who come around hip hop. It's a bag grab and they out.
If you're Ice Spice, man, get it while it's hot.
Listen, you never know what she could drop and turn around with. True. You know what I'm saying? You never
know what anybody can drop.
She had big hits, and that was only a year ago, bro. It was only 12 months ago that she had big mainstream hits. True. But I just said it was too much too soon at the time. You know what I'm saying? And so now you have set a bar at such a level that now you got to keep hitting that. Where you look at somebody like a Tyler who started and built from bottom up a thing that is his own thing that he was able to craft and own, and it's his, right? The festival is 10 years old. The clothing line. Then you add on the Louis Vuitton collabs. I mean, hell, it's holiday season. Y'all gonna be watching the most recent Grinch. That's Tyler the Creator, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's doing
great
that
movie,
music.
by the way. If you ever seen that little animation Grinch, fire. Might be better than Jim Carrey one, just saying.
No, it's phenomenal, but that's Tyler and Pharrell cooking that up. Like, so much there. But anyway, for Eddie and Low and Nadeska, I'm Ebro. Shout out to everybody that came and checked us out in Brooklyn at the retail store. Jump off the Rap Life Review Live, which was a great time. And hopefully we'll be doing more of those. Nothing went left. So maybe they'll invite us back.
What's good? Nadeska here. If you made it through that entire episode of the Rap Life Review, that means you're really a fan. Hit that like button so we know it's real. Subscribe if you never want to miss an episode. And of course, if you really have something to say, drop a comment and we'll hit you back on next week's episode.